has been a remarkable journey of spiritual evolution and service. Born and raised in India, he graduated in science from Kanpur University before moving to Canada in 1974, where he began to flourish as an entrepreneur. His life took a transformative turn in 1995 after attending a Chinmaya mission camp and listening to Pujya Swami Tejamayanandaji. Inspired by his newfound clarity, he soon started Dharma Sevaka courses, study groups, and Balavihar sessions in his own hometown. In 2010, he partially attended the residential Vedanta course in Piercy, and in 2014, he immersed himself in a 2.5-year residential Vedanta course in Sindhavadi under the guidance of Pujya Swami Tejamayanandaji, Pujya Swami Shobhananda, and Pujya Swami Ganeshananda. Now based at Chinmaya Mission in London, Shri Vijay leads over 6 weekly study classes, spearheads the Vanaprastha segment of our community with warmth, wisdom, and unwavering commitment. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Shri Vijay Gupta.
Namaste, Pranam, good morning to all, welcome. Shubh Prabhat. Indeed, it is a pleasure to see so many people who have come, so many different cities, so many different countries from all over the world. My humble pranam to each and every person in this organization and organizing team who have worked very hard. I also came to know yesterday some of the members didn't sleep all night to make sure that their guests next day have no challenges. That is called Atithi Deva. I met Dr. Vikrant Tomar 5 years ago. Very little introduction. He visited Niagara Falls with one of our friends, Vinod, and just maybe 1 or 2 minutes, and I met him again. But last year, he came to our Chinmaya Mission Center, and he invited us to come. I didn't know too much what's going on, but Viveki knew this thing. And I couldn't conceive the magnitude of this event. My sincere gratitude to Vikrant ji and his team. भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूँ ऐसे लोगों को हिम्मत बढ़ाते रहें जिससे इनके पीछे हम भी चलते रहें। The topic given to me is to speak practicing gratitude, compassion for peace. In Sanskrit language, even a comma is not waste, and also where you put comma or period or semicolon is very important. So these 4 words which are given, practicing gratitude, compassion, and peace, all these 4 can be expressed in 2 ways, grosser ways or subtle ways. In other words, seen and unseen. Let's understand. We know the sound travels in a space, but we do not see how it travels from here to you. I'm speaking here, and you are all listening 30, 50, 100 feet away. So this practice of gratitude, compassion, peace also can be two ways, seen and unseen. In fact, practicing within, unseen, is more powerful, or 100 times more powerful. Who says? Our scripture says. Because we can practice this without the intention. How many times we say thank you without even thanking? Because we think at this time I should say thank you. But do we mean that? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So this pretending business sometimes even hurt us. So let's understand what goes inside and how it goes outside. In a simple language, let me share a story. A few words and very powerful. When I was about 19, 20 years, I barely graduated from Kanpur University. And I don't know, it's a coincidence, every lecture Kanpur comes names. I have my friend sitting who was in Kanpur IIT graduated. I used to drive through the Kanpur IIT and I wish if I would have gone to Kanpur IIT, but I wasn't very scholarly. And then Kanpur, there was no university. So I was one of the founder members of Kanpur University. Because as Vikrantji is doing the Andolan, we have many Muslim saints and Christian names. We said, no, we want to put it as Sanatan Dharma. So I was first graduate in 68, 69 to Kanpur University. Very nice. Anyway, the story is, and it's a real story, that a medical company sends two salesmen in Houston, Texas, in America, to sell this new product. And they gave them 2-3 days to market it. So they end up in the same hotel on Sunday and make an appointments on Monday here and there. So Sunday they checked into the hotel. Then in the evening they came to the dinner. They met first time. They asked, are you been here in Houston first time or you have visited here before? He said, no, first time. And also, the way they were talking, it looked like one person suspected the other he is not telling the truth. Because as the movement going, he would always say, you sure you didn't come to this restaurant? No, never been to this restaurant. When they sat down for this dinner and they ordered the dinner, so first soup came and the soup in the bowl was exactly same. Then they ordered the salad, same thing, 5-course meal. Then they found this person, he had a little bit more salad, little more dressing, little bit more. And then main course came, which was almost 25% more. When the ice cream came, then he said, definitely you have been to this restaurant, you have been to this city, and I think you know people here. Because this person got 1 scoop of ice cream, the other got 3 scoops of ice cream. But why this happened? Gratitude. Because the first person, when the waitress walked in, he greeted with this thank you. Thank you for being here. Second, thank you. You look so good in this dress. Third time, that the way you serve it, it looks like you have to be chef or owner of this hotel. So this gratitude practicing You do not have to wait to thank to receive something. We can be thankful in any situation, anytime. And when we are ready to give, we are ready to receive more, isn't it? So exactly this simple story demonstrates how this one salesman became so good with one person. And that didn't happen in one day. I'm pretty sure he had been practicing this wherever he goes, whatever city he goes, and exactly like that. Let me share, I know you are all smiling and you want to listen to the second story. So I'll share to you the second story. And this is also a true story. It came into a Kalyan magazine 40, 50 years ago. It was awarded for a national award in Delhi, but he practiced some other part of the India. So he reached into Delhi to receive that award at certain time, and when he left his place or hotel wherever he was staying, all of a sudden, pitch dark clouds started pouring rain. The vehicle he was going couldn't move, and somehow this vehicle stopped at some house. Poor house, no door, but he couldn't move. This doctor didn't believe in the prayer of God of compassion at all. So he was forced to stop his vehicle and go to this door. And he knocked his door. A lady came in and he asked that I want to, because look at the sky, look at this thing, you are lost. I can tell you the way to go, but meanwhile, come and sit, relax. I'll make the prayer. What is this prayer? What are you asking? Because he didn't believe in all these things. To cut the story short, this lady has a child, and that child needed a surgery to save life of this person, and he was the only doctor. And when he went there, and when he heard that the lady is praying for God to do the surgery, and the surgeon was came here. See, look at the compassion and prayer. So all these practicing gratitude, compassion can be taught, and we should think all along life. We came with empty-handed. We not take anything. Everything is given to us is by somebody else. We never earn anything. Even we think we make 2 paisa, no. Even to mint that coin, how much labor and thought goes. I just heard that Donald Trump, he said, let's not make any pennies. It costs 2 pennies to make 1 penny. So you can understand the budget is in billions of these things. So again, what I learned and everything I learned only from the scriptures. This peace, Shanti, we have been talking about this. Our Shastra says, when this happiness comes, then it is not a very good thing. Because there is 2 words, Atyantik Dukh Nivritti, that this sorrow which comes and goes should stop forever. But that's only half of the job. If you have a poison into a cup and you throw the poison, you clean the cup, then you don't become Amar, you don't find the happiness then you have to pour the amrit. So second is Adyantik Sukh Prapti. So when these two situations happen, then we are happy. And like we heard this thing, charity begins at home. India Mission has a slogan, maximum happiness to maximum people, to maximum time. And also I can relate, that slogan is exactly what Vikrant ji and his team doing in a different meanings of the consciousness in this, but the goal is same. So what he is doing and what we are doing, the goal is same, to make a place, this universe, for better living. Until we do not understand the core of this happiness which is within, the outside arrangement cannot do nothing. It can create the wars, so many wars going on, because we are always trying to adjust the world. But if we do not adjust ourselves, how can we adjust ourselves? Thank you for listening. May God bless all.